Imagine pulling into your quiet suburban driveway after a long shift, only to find a neon violation notice slapped on your garage door like a scarlet letter, courtesy of the neighborhood's self-appointed dictator. But what if that petty power play unraveled a web of corruption so tangled it landed her in handcuffs? Stripped of everything she lorded over? In the manicured lawns of Willow Creek Estates. A gated slice of American suburbia in sunny California. Life looked picture-perfect from the outside. Trimmed hedges, matching mailboxes, and kids on bikes chasing the ice cream truck. But beneath that glossy veneer lurked a suffocating tangle of HOA rules, enforced by none other than Marge Hargrove, the HOA president who'd turned community guidelines into her personal scepter. Marge was the type who smiled sweetly at block parties while mentally cataloging every unapproved flower pot or slightly askew trash bin. She'd been ruling the roost for 5 years. Her blonde highlights as sharp as her tongue. Always armed with a leather-bound binder of bylaws and a voice that dripped with faux concern for property values. Folks whispered she was divorced, childless, and had nothing better to do than micromanage everyone else's bliss. Enter Alex Rivera, a mild-mannered software engineer who'd moved in 2 years back with his partner, Detective Lena Torres of the local PD. Alex was the quiet type, kept his yard neat, waved at neighbors, but mostly stuck to his garage tinkering on vintage motorcycles. He'd heard the rumors about Marge, how she'd find the elderly widow down the street for a faded welcome mat or bullied the young couple into ripping out their eco-friendly solar panels because they clashed with the aesthetic. But Alex figured as long as he flew under the radar, he'd be fine. Little did he know, Marge had already painted a target on his back after spotting Lena's unmarked detective sedan parked overnight one too many times. Whispers started circulating, Marge calling it a security risk at the last HOA meeting, implying it attracted undesirables. Alex ignored the gossip at first, chalking it up to suburban boredom. But inside, he was watching, noting every passive-aggressive email and side-eye from Marge's cronies. One crisp Saturday morning, Alex was elbow-deep in oil, swapping out the chain on his old Harley, when Marge's pearl-white SUV screeched to a halt at the curb. She hopped out in her signature pastel polo and khakis, clipboard clutched like a shield, her face a mask of righteous indignation. "Mr. Rivera," she called out, her voice carrying that saccharine lilt that barely hid the venom. "We need to have a little chat about that vehicle in your driveway." Alex straightened up, wiping grease from his hands, and glanced at Lena's car, a standard-issue black sedan with tinted windows and no flashy lights. "What about it, Marge?" "It's parked legally, on private property." She flipped open her binder with a dramatic flourish, pointing to a highlighted section like she was unveiling holy scripture. "According to Section 4.2 of our covenants, no commercial or utility vehicles are permitted overnight. It disrupts the harmony of our community. Imagine if everyone started parking work trucks willy-nilly, we'd look like a construction zone." Alex leaned against the Harley, suppressing a smirk. "It's not commercial. Lena's a detective. That's her ride for keeping the streets safe. You know, actual public service." Marge's lips pursed into a thin line, her eyes narrowing behind her designer frames. "Public service or not, rules are rules. We voted on this to maintain standards. If we make exceptions for one, where does it end? Next thing you know, someone's parking a food truck and calling it entrepreneurial spirit." She scribbled furiously on her clipboard, tearing off a pink violation slip and slapping it under his wiper blade. "You have 48 hours to comply, or fines start at $100 a day. Think of the children, they deserve a pristine view." Alex took the slip, crumpling it slightly. "Marge, this is ridiculous. You're turning a non-issue into a crusade. She straightened her posture, flashing a patronizing smile. It's not personal, dear. It's about order. Without it, we're no better than those unruly apartments downtown. As she sauntered back to her SUV, Alex muttered under his breath. Order. My ass. More like your ego trip. He didn't rip up the notice, not yet. Instead, he snapped a photo, filed it away, and waited. Lena, who'd been listening from the kitchen window, stepped out with a coffee mug in hand, her badge clipped to her belt. Let me guess, another HOA edict from Queen Marge? Alex nodded, handing her the slip. She's gunning for your car now. Called it a utility vehicle. Lena chuckled dryly. Utility? It's got better mileage than her gas guzzler. But all right. Game on. The whispers turned to outright rumors overnight. By Monday, Alex overheard neighbors at the community mailbox cluster. Did you hear? The Riveras are running some shady operation from their garage, cops coming and going at all hours. Marge had been busy posting veiled complaints on the HOA's private Facebook group, framing Lena's car as a potential hazard that could invite crime. Alex felt the sting, his reputation smeared like mud on fresh pavement, but he stayed silent, documenting every post, every sidelong glance. Then came the escalation. A second notice arrived via certified mail. This one demanding the car be garaged or removed, with threats of liens on the property. Failure to comply may result in legal action to preserve neighborhood tranquility, it read. Signed boldly by Marge. Alex showed it to Lena over dinner. She's not backing down. Thinks she's untouchable. Lena's eyes gleamed with that detective spark. Untouchable? Let's test that. I'll pull some strings at the precinct, see if her bylaws hold water against state law. The next day, Marge showed up unannounced, banging on the door like she owned the place. Alex opened it, phone in hand recording subtly. Marge, to what do we owe this pleasure? She thrust another form at him. Your time's up. I've notified the board, we're proceeding with fines. And if that eyesore isn't gone by sundown, I'll have no choice but to involve authorities. Lena emerged from the hallway, in plain clothes but with her holster visible. Authorities? Like who? The parking police? Marge blinked, caught off guard. Miss Torres, this is a community matter. Your vehicle is in violation. Lena cut her off smoothly. Actually, under California Vehicle Code 22658, law enforcement vehicles are exempt from such restrictions when parked at the officer's residence. Try again. Marge. The woman's face flushed, her clipboard trembling. That doesn't supersede HOA covenants. We're a private association. Alex crossed his arms, enjoying the crack in her facade. Private. Huh. But funded by our dues. Funny how that works. Marge huffed. You'll hear from our attorney. As she stormed off, Lena called after her. Tell him to brush up on preemption laws. Saves embarrassment. That night, the HOA group exploded with Marge's posts. Residents beware, some think they're above the rules. Stand with me for fairness. Alex screenshotted it all, his patience a coiled spring. Tension simmered like a pot about to boil over. Neighbors started avoiding Alex at the park, murmuring about special treatment for cops. One even slipped an anonymous note under his door, move the car or move out, HOA forever. But Alex kept his cool. Digging deeper, he chatted up Harold Jenkins, the HOA's aging vice president, over a fence line beer. Marge has been riding roughshod lately, Harold admitted. Glancing around. She's vetoed votes. Handled finances solo. I signed off blind, didn't want the drama. Alex nodded sympathetically. Ever check the books? Harold's eyes widened. She says it's all above board. That sparked Alex's tech savvy. He started poring over public records online. Cross-referencing HOA filings with county audits. What he found? Discrepancies. Dues hiked 20% last year. But the playground equipment was still rusted. The streetlights flickering. Meanwhile, Marge's administrative fees ballooned. Lena joined in, using her access to run background on Marge's consultants. Turns out, one was her brother-in-law's landscaping firm, overcharging for phantom jobs. Black comedy gold, Lena whispered. She's preaching order while pocketing petty cash. The breaking point hit when Marge, true to her word, called the cops. Sirens wailed as 2 patrol cars pulled up. Officers stepping out confused. Marge flagged them down triumphantly. Officers. That sedan, it's illegally parked per HOA rules. Ticket it now. The lead cop, a burly guy named Ramirez, scratched his head. Ma'am, this is a civil matter. We don't enforce HOA stuff. Marge's voice rose an octave. But it's a hazard. Enforce the law. Alex and Lena watched from the porch. Lena stepped forward, flashing her badge. Ramirez. It's me. Stand down, this is harassment. Marge's jaw dropped. You're one of them? Lena smiled coldly. Detective Torres. And you just wasted taxpayer dollars on a vendetta. The officers chuckled, driving off with apologies. Marge sputtered. This isn't over. I'll sue. Alex quipped. Sue for what? Your bruised ego? She retreated. But not before posting a rant online, corrupt insiders undermining our values. Alex replied publicly for the first time, values like transparency? Let's audit that. The neighborhood buzzed like a hive poked with a stick. Marge doubled down, slapping a $500 fine on Alex's next statement for defamation via his post. But cracks showed. Harold resigned quietly, slipping Alex a USB drive over coffee. Look at the vendor payments, he muttered. She's funneled thousands to shell companies. Alex plugged it in that night. Spreadsheets revealing $40,000 siphoned to Hargrove Consulting, Marge's maiden name LLC. Address a P.O. box. Jackpot, Lena said. This is embezzlement. They compiled a dossier, emails, receipts, witness statements from bullied neighbors. The single dad fined for a kiddie pool. The retiree threatened over holiday lights. Alex organized a discreet meeting at the community center, inviting fed-up residents. Marge is not protecting us, she's profiting off us, he said. Projecting the docs. Gasps rippled through the room. One woman stood, she charged me $300 for non-compliant blinds. Turns out, her sister's store sells the approved ones. Laughter mixed with outrage. Marge caught wind and crashed the gathering, bursting in with her binder. This is unauthorized. Disperse or face sanctions. Alex stood tall. Sanctions? Like the ones you invented to line your pockets? She jabbed a finger. Lies. I'm preserving our way of life. Lena interjected, holding up a printout. Your way of life includes falsifying bids? We've notified the DA. Marge's face twisted, first smug confidence, then dawning panic. You wouldn't dare. The board supports me. Harold rose from the crowd. Not anymore. I second the motion for removal. Votes poured in, unanimous ouster. Marge shrieked. You'll regret this. I built this community. As she was escorted out, Alex leaned in, you built a scam. Now watch it crumble. In the aftermath, investigators swarmed like ants on sugar. The DA's office, tipped by Lena, raided Marge's home office, seizing laptops and files. Headlines blared, HOA boss busted in fraud scheme, thousands stolen from neighbors. Marge's Lexus was impounded. Her house seized for restitution. She faced 12 counts, fraud, conspiracy, even cyber tampering for altering digital records. At trial, her defense crumbled under witness testimonies, neighbors recounting her tyrannical reign with biting sarcasm. She fined me for a bird feeder, one testified. Said it attracted vermin. Meanwhile, she's the real pest. Marge took the stand. Voice quavering, I was just enforcing standards. The prosecutor fired back, standards that funded your spa weekends? The jury convicted in hours, she got 7 years. Assets liquidated to repay victims. Willow Creek bloomed anew, open budgets. Volunteer events. No more clipboard terror. Alex and Lena sat on their porch, watching kids play freely. Feels like breathing again, Alex said. Lena nodded. All because she couldn't mind her own driveway. Was Marge the true villain? Or just a product of a system that lets petty tyrants thrive unchecked? You tell me, did justice win? Or did suburbia just swap one mask for another?